Hello everyone, welcome to the video series of the subject Object-Oriented Programming using Java. Myself Hemali Shah, I am working as an assistant professor in LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this video lecture, I am going to cover the topic Java variables, data types available in Java, the literals and escape sequences in a Java language. And this particular topic is a part of unit number 1, basics of Java language, right? So let's move forward and let's learn about the Java variables and data types. So what is Java variables? This Java variables is a logical name that we are giving to allocate particular memory. It is very difficult to remember and make a program by using the memory location number. This address, if we are using, then your program will be very difficult to understand and very difficult to make it. That's why we are generally giving a logical name to our memory location, and this, by using this logical name, we are making our logic of our program, right? So this particular use of this variable. Now the syntax to create a variable is, you just need to use the data type, then you just need to use the variable name and just use the semicolon to end this particular statement. For example, if I want to make a variable of kind integer type, then we can use the syntax like int, then space, then I. This I is a variable name and this is type of int type of variable. It basically stores the integer values. The integer value we can store in this I variable, right? Now the example 2, this we can use to make a parameter of the function also. Here this void is a return type, increment count is a function and we are making a parameter to this function. Now to declare a parameter list, again we are using the variable name. This count is a variable name and this type of this count variable is int. Right, so in this two syntax we are using the variables. Now naming rules for variable is same as the identifier rules that I have covered in a previous video lecture. You can only use the alphabets, capital as well as small, $sign and underscore sign. These characters are allowed to make a name of variable. You can use the underscore and dollar as a special character also to make a name of this variable, and you can use the digit also, but you have to start your variable name only with the characters. You cannot use the digit as a first character of identifier. You cannot use the keywords as a variable name, right? So the rules of a variable is same as the identifier rules. Now data types. How many number of data types are available? So in any language, two kind of data types are available, primitive and non-primitive data types. So what is primitive data type? Well, primitive, that means built-in data type, and non-primitive, that means user-defined data type, or we are making the data types. Now the primitive data types are Boolean. Now to make a Boolean variable, you can only store true and false value. For that only Boolean is a first data type available, start with B later, right? The numeric value you can store as a, either it is in form of character or it is in form of integer, right? Now if you want to store your character value, then char is a available data type, and if you want to store some integral value, then it can be an integer or it can be a floating point value. Now integer value store, that means if you want non-floating value, then you can store in a byte data type, short data type, int data type and long data type. So 4 integer kind of data types are available in Java. Now to store a floating point value, the two data types are available, float and double, right? So total 8 data types are available: Boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float and double. So these 8 data types are available in Java. So let's talk about all the data types. So whenever you are talking about the data types, it actually stores the data. So which kind of data it stores and what is the range of this data that we are going to store in particular data type, right? Say for the example, someone told you that I want to store a single character. Then you have to decide the data type. What you will decide? You will take this variable data type as a char because I want to store single character data, right? That's why. Now someone told you that I want to store the age of some person. Then age of the person is available in between 1 or we can say the 0 to 125, 126 only. So this integer value you can accommodate in the byte also. But 4 kind of integer data types are available. But which data type you will use? You will use int, float, array, int, short, byte. Which one you will use? So here the minimum range you should select. So here all the data types actually occupies the number of bytes in your memory area. Here this boolean data types only stores the single byte, 1 byte, but 1 bit information we can store. It can be a true or false only. If you are making as a variable of a data member as a variable, then the default value is false for boolean. Char actually occupies 16 bit. That means 2 byte it's occupied, and you can store 65,536 unsigned value into this char. Byte occupies 1 byte, short occupied 2 bytes, int occupied 4 bytes, long occupied 8 bytes. So this 4 integer data type available, and it actually multiplied by 2 you will get the size 1, 2, 4, 8. Now the range is based on the number of bit occupied inside this particular data type. You can identify the range also by making some calculation also that you have already knowing in a digital subject, right? So you have already learned this, how to find out the range. Now float and double. This float occupies 4 byte and this double occupies 8 byte. So based on the number of bit occupation, you can store the numbers in that particular data type. So you just need to select your data type like that. You can store that data that you want to store in this particular variable, and it occupies the minimum space to store your data. This thing you have to keep in mind. Then that's why this things are given over here, right? Now the char data type. What is the difference between C char data type and Java char data type? In C, the char occupies only 1 byte, so number of characters supports is only ASCII character supports. The number of characters that is supported by the C language is only 256. While here Java char data types occupy 2 bytes, and this single 16-bit, it supports the 16-bit, and it actually supports the Unicode character set. It is a Unicode is a character set. It actually supports the characters of all the language. You can search all the characters of this Unicode character set on the Google, and you can identify the number of characters supported in this Java char data types. It is called as a Unicode character set, right? Now the minimum value is /u, 4 zeros. This is the representation of the 0 value. Whenever you are storing it in a char, it actually uses this representation to store it, and the maximum value is UFFFF. This is a 65,535, this integer value, and that you can convert into hexadecimal like this. So this is the Unicode value or Unicode number. Now char data type is used to store any character, and if you want to store some character, you have to use the single quotes, like I have used in this particular example, char, then variable name letter A, and assign the character A in letter A. For that I have used the single quotes, and between the single quotes I have to use the character that I want to store in a letter A, right? Now the reference data type. The reference data type basically created by using the classes or arrays is also called as a reference data type. Now these are basically used to access the object of a real-time entity. Say for the example, if you want to represent your employee, so an employee can be a reference data type string, then puppy. This puppy should be a class in your program, and it actually refers to the particular object. Such a referential data type you can create inside the class, and you have to make a constructor to initialize this particular objects of that particular class. Now the class objects, this class objects and various type of array variables comes under this reference data type, right? And default value for any reference variable, whenever you are making it, it is always null. That means it's pointing to nothing. There is no memory available for the object. So you have to use the new keyword to assign the memory to this particular reference data type. Otherwise, it will be a null only in your program. So keep in mind this default value of all the reference variable. Though you are making an array, though you are making an object, it always becomes null. Now, a reference variable can be used to refer to any object of the declared type or any compatible type, right? Now, for example, you can create the object of animal by making the use of animal class name. Then small letter animal, actually it is called as an object name. Then allocate the memory by using the new operator, and again use the data type, or we can say the constructor of the animal class with the parameter giraffe. So this will make a reference data type of a kind, classes and object. Again, the syntax I will cover when I will start the unit number 2, classes and objects and methods, right? So this syntax I will cover over there, but this is the syntax to create a reference data type. And array I will cover in the same chapter. This is also making a reference data type, right? Now this literals, what is the literals? So literals means the constant that you are using in your program. This all actually works as a literals, right? So literals, boolean kind of literal, integer, floating, double, long, character, string, object, this all the literals we are using in our program. So whenever you want to use the boolean kind of literal, you have to use the true and false. For the integer kind of literal, you have to use some integer number either in a form of positive or in a form of negative. For the floating point literal, you have to use the small f or capital F with the floating value. Otherwise, it will become a double value. So though you are using the floating point, but it will store in a size of the double, and that will be in 8 bytes, right? So keep in mind this thing. You have to specify the f whenever you are making a floating point variable. Now to making a double kind of thing, don't use any suffix, or just use small d or capital D. If you are not going to use, then also it actually making a literal of double value, right? But if you want to specify, then you can use the D and small d as well as capital D. Now long kind of literal, you have to use either small l or capital L. The suffix small l or capital L you have to append with your value. Otherwise, it always making a integer kind of literals, right? Now characters that you have to specify by using the single quotes. The string literal you have to specify inside the double quotes. So whatever you are using in a system.out.println, actually you are making a literal of a string class, right? The object you can use as a null value. This null is basically a literal which is used with the object, right? Now integer, more about the integer literal. The binary integer literal you can use with the leading 0. So if you want to specify some integer value in a form of binary value, then you just need to use the leading 0, b, small b or capital B to specify the binary literal. For the octal literal, you just need to use a 0 as a leading character of your value, integer value. Say for the example, I want to use 5 as a octal integer literal, then I have to use 0, 5. This 5 will be considered as a octal because I am going to start this value with the 0. That's why. Right? Now hexadecimal integer value that you can start with the leading 0 small x or 0 capital X. This X indicates this is the hexadecimal value that you are going to represent in a integer, right? For example, this all you can use like this. This leading 0b indicates this is a binary of a 15 value, all ones, and you are using leading 0b. That's why. Now, if you are using only 0 in a system.out.println, then it will be considered as an octal value, and this will be a octal form of 4095 value. If you are using 0xFFF, all F indicates 65535. This is an integer value represented in a hexadecimal value. So 0x will be considered as a hexadecimal value. So such a integer literal we are using in our program also, right? Now escape sequences. This escape sequence is having a special notation to represent a special character called an escape sequence, and we are using the backslash. This backslash followed by some character, and with the combination of some digit, it actually represent or it is actually used to create the escape sequences. Now, if you are knowing the character backslash and that we are using to move in a new line, this slash n we are generally calling. This is basically used to move in a new line. Now what will happen whenever the backslash available in your string? What compiler will understand? This compiler having some specific meaning when some character available after this backslash. So these characters are available over here. This backslash b basically uses to represent the backslash only, and all the character having some Unicode value as well as some decimal value, right? This character, all the character having some decimal value also. Many of these escape sequences you are knowing. If you want to print the double quotes, you have to use slash then double quotes only. If you want to print only single slash, you have to use the double slashes, because the single slash will be considered as an escape sequence and it will be ignored by the compiler, and it will be generate a lexical analyzer error, and there will be a compile time error in your program. So this particular escape sequences you have to use whenever you just need this particular mechanism in your println statement, or whenever you need a mechanism in your string, right? Double slashes will print a single slash, slash r, carriage return. Form filling, we are using the slash f, slash n is actually uses for the line feeding, slash t which is used to make a tab space inside your string, slash b basically used for the backslashes, right? So these all are the special escape sequences characters. And say for the example where you should use it, someone tell you that he said Java is fun, and I want to print this Java is fun in a double quotes. So can you write the double quotes without slashes? Use it without slashes, it will generate the compile time error. So you just need to use the slash then backslash then double quotes to print us double quotes as an output like this. So this will actually generate the output Java is fun in a double quotes manner, right? So this particular escape sequence we are using. Now one exercise for you. Print slash n is used for new line character that I want to print as an output. Can you print it without using the escape sequence? Slash n is used to move in a new line that I want to print. Can you print it without using slashes? Try it, right? So here I'm going to end this particular session. And hope you people are clear with this all the concept of escape sequence, literals, the data types and variables available in Java. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you all of you.